Hi guys, okay, it's Blackie. Today in the Ground Pounder series we're going to talk about carrying it to camp. Now like you, or a lot of you, I started out whenever I was a young man toting book bags. I mean school book bags. We could get those, usually you're going to get a new one so you had the old one. So we tried to pack our little bit of gear into it, and for the most part they were garbage. You know, they were thin little nylon. The seams gave up. They were meant to be a $10 book bag. And so the first time I got my hands on a surplus military rucksack, man, that thing was golden. And as I recall, my very first one was actually a World War II type of bag. And the next one I got a hold of was given to me by a family member, and it's the short Arvin canvas pack, sometimes called the tropical pack. And whenever they had started doing the Alice pack systems, they were actually supposed to be four sizes. There was to be the tropical, which was the small little bag, and that's what became the Arvin bag. There was the small Alice, which had 3 small pockets on it, but was only about that deep, and it was for radio operators, stuff like that, and it went up under with the radio up on top and things like that. It didn't last long. And then there was the medium size Alice, which all of us are familiar with, and then there was the large Alice, which was the big one with the extra row of pockets. And I carried an Alice pack for many years, and we're going to do an entire Ground Pounder video upcoming in the future where I'm going to talk about Alice packs and tips and tricks that I learned for carrying it. But I have to be brutally honest and give you my honest opinion. I don't like an Alice pack, and I'll tell you why. Whenever I'm carrying the load on me, I want the load to be tapered. So it's actually a little narrower at my hips and get a little wider to my chest. Not like that, not vertical, but a little tapered. So I want the bottom a little bit smaller than the top. I want it depth away from my back to be relatively shallow, about like that at the most. The Alice goes like that. And therein lies the problem, because when you start stuffing stuff into the Alice without a frame or even with a frame, the further away from your back it gets, and it gets to where you're doing this or you're walking like this to carry it. And you look at pictures from Vietnam of a lot of our soldiers in combat trying to go through things, and half of them are bent over like this with a big old Alice on their back. The other half are standing here leaning back like this. It's just, to me, for my body size, and I am 5'10", 185 pounds, it never balanced, it never fit me right. But I will talk about tips and tricks. But then, probably 15 years ago, I found a pack. I found a rucksack, and I fell in love with that rucksack, and to this day it is still my favorite rucksack. I own like 5 of them. And what is it? The German Alpine rucksack. It fits better, it carries better than any other surplus pack I've tried, and I have tried quite a few. Now everybody's got their little weaknesses, everybody's got their little thing, but to me, sleeping bags and rucksacks are 2 of my big weaknesses, and I have tried a pile of them. It rides, when it's fully loaded, a little lower in my shoulders. That puts it more down toward my hips instead of up like that, and Alice is up like that. This is further down, so it hangs more as opposed to stocking up higher and higher, okay? Now let me hang this pack up onto this little handy stub over here, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to talk about a little modification or two that I made to it. Now you can still find these rucksacks popping up on Amazon, reproductions of them, which from what I have seen, seem pretty good. You'll also find originals that pop up on eBay, and ever so often places like Sportsman's Guide will have them at a reasonable price. So let me show you the features of this bag and a few little tricks, and why to me, for me, this is my #1 choice for a rucksack. Okay, let's start with the dismount. From the buckle on the average to the actual body is a fairly long piece. This gives me a lot of adjustment. So I can hop it up and pull it down tighter to bring it up more up on my shoulders when I'm going up a steep hill, let's say. I can also easily adjust hook and lift up to allow it to slide a little lower down like where I normally like it. In this lower position, as I'm carrying it, it's easy for me to put a chest strap across here, which takes the load off of my shoulders and off of my arteries so that it doesn't feel tight, it doesn't make my arms go numb, it doesn't compress my breathing. And I'll run a piece of paracord or something, or a quick line that I can easily detach right here between the straps to hold it. To dismount it, all I got to do is take my arm and go underneath it, and it just rolls off like that. I have a quick and handy carry handle right there. Now, let me hang her up. Okay. Okay, let's talk about one of the most misunderstood parts of this is the buckle. The strap goes up underneath, back around, and comes out this way, and it's hard to adjust. Yes and no. You put the load into it, whatever you want to have, and then you figure out where it's going to be, and you adjust this to roughly pretty close, okay? Now you notice how the buckle is open? You roll the buckle down, and then you can lock it in place like that. About one full roll is enough, and it will lock in place, just like that. Squeeze the two buckles to unlock it. I can adjust it by making it just a little bit too loose, one lap, and if I need a little more slack, I can come out of slack. So it's easy, roll it up and down. All you gotta do is just roll the buckle, okay? Now this is more of the canvas. This is an older one. And you have the same type buckles on the side. Up here on the top, you're going to find on the flap 2 sets of D-rings and a pass-through where you can run a cord or something through. This is on both sides. So I can put a bedroll up here and run a bungee or something, or one of my quick bungees, or one of the adjustable type, or just simply a good old Canadian jam knot, a bushcraft zip tie around here. Slide my bedroll or whatever in here and just pull it tight. Quick and handy. Here on the straps where they're sewed down, there's also pass-throughs been made into the front so that I can anchor something onto the front if I want. With the flap up, and it has like a vinyl coating on the flap, and the bottom has vinyl on it so it can be sat down on wet and you ain't got to worry about it. It has a shock cord and adjustable so I can pull this up, okay, to cinch it up. Now here's a little trick I want to pass on to you. What I do, notice how the cord goes through the eyelets and it goes back here to this back of the pack itself. Let me bring that in a little bit tighter. Okay, got this cord right back here. What you do is I like to take it and get it kind of close, and then I go back here and I run my cord underneath that cord and pull up and use that like a toggle, that long cinch, and that holds my entire weight up and forward, keeping the pack tight against my back. It doesn't want to get further and further away, okay? On the roomy side pockets, there is a path through that goes all the way through. This allows me to put an axe or something else through here and drop all the way down. It's very simple for me to put a loop on it and come underneath this loop. So I come the loop off of my axe head, come around, just put it underneath the buckle, and then lock it. That will hold the axe in place. It isn't ever going to work and slide on down. And to get it out, all I'll do is unbuckle and take it right out. No problem. So it's a lanyard holder that I can hook to that flap very easily. Okay. Now on the back, it has a reinforcement strap up here at the top and about a 1/2 inch thick padding, which is actually more than adequate. The attachment strap at the bottom down here angles out to change the direction. Instead of anchoring it directly to the pack, they make it so it angles out. It carries more comfortably that way. And then adjustable buckle right there where I can cinch it up or loosen it up as a normal pack. And a great big generous grab handle up here. The back is flat and does well. And the internal frame pocket, we're going to talk about that in a second. This was designed to be used by German alpine troops. Okay? Now, let me show you in here. There is a large main compartment, and then inside the main compartment there is a back compartment, just like in an Alice, with two Velcro straps that come down. What goes in here is officially supposed to be this. This is a fold-up, full-size sleeping pad, and it's meant for snow country. Okay, very light, closed cell foam, very durable. Make sure I got it right side up. That right there. When you do find these, and they're about 24 inches wide, because this accordion's out, and it's more than big enough to make a sleep pad. Goes into a hammock real well. I've doubled it in half, put it in a hammock, got up there and kept everything from back of my thighs, top of my head, nice and warm in a hammock. And this acts like a soft frame. See, I slide in, I got that much padding between any of that stuff I put in there in my back. More than enough. These are sometimes listed as shooter's pads. Okay, so I have seen them 17 bucks or whatever, a Sportsman's guide and stuff, and it's listed as a shooter's pad. They don't realize this goes into this pack, but it does fit it. If you do not have a one of those, you can make your own, and that's what I did also. All I did was take a piece of closed cell foam, part of an old U.S. Army sleeping pad, and cut the proper size rectangle to slide in there. That gives me a 1/2 inch thick pad against my back. Now, anything I put in there is never going to rub against me. I'm not going to get that hot spot where that can of soup that I'm carrying is digging into me. And at the same time, when I sit it down, I flip this pack open, I pull this out, and that becomes my seating pad, because I can take it in and out with the pack still loaded and put it back with the pack still loaded, simply by lifting the flap up, and there's that big area, putting it in there, sliding it all the way back down in the sleeve, and then taking the Velcro straps and pulling them to the front and hooking it on. Nice big Velcro. Besides that, it's a great big cargo pocket. Okay, it's almost the same size as an Alice, but the geometry is different, and that's the big thing for me. It carries much better than an Alice does, and since it's either condura or the older canvas, doesn't make nearly as much noise as the Alice does. Alice is a noisy pack to carry when you're walking along in my environment. All you're hearing is every little leaf, every little limb, everything scratching it makes racket. This pack is quiet, and I like that, especially when I'm trying to see game or come in to be quiet and stealth camp. This is the way to go. Now, as you can see, the flap has no problem folding down. And as this pack came originally, this is the way it is. It's got a vinyl coating on it. Add a pack liner to the inside. If you ain't got a lot of money, just simply a couple of heavy trash bags to line the inside, and you're golden. You're never going to have a water problem. But at the same time, I wanted a little bit more utility, so I made a couple of modifications. And I've got several of these bags. Like I said, I think I got 4 or 5 of them. I would find them on a good deal, and you can cross the straps as well for carrying sometime. I'm going to put something underneath the flap, I'll just cross the straps. It'll hold it. Got a nice big generous carry handle up here on the top. Quite often I will leave something attached here for a cord to hook to or whatever for me to tie it around the pack so I can put it up. Now, the modification that I made, and this is a newer one that's got condura nylon, okay? And this is my discoloration. The pack did not come that way. What it was is I had some gun bluing that was inside this pack. I was carrying it, shooting, and the fumes for it stained the material. But it had not given up. Okay, what I did was I took the flap and I sewed in my own pouch and put a zipper into it. All I did was trace out the size of the flap, take my material, go ahead and put the zipper in, then lay it up there, and I took a glue stick, you know, like you used in first grade, and I glued the edge and just glued it in place so it doesn't move around. Then I sewed it all the way around, flat sewing it to the underside. It doesn't affect the look of the bag, but at the same time, it makes it where I've got a pocket for my small quick grabs right here. Now, following that line, when I did the next one, I went one step further. Now, I went and used bright signal orange up under here. So now I got something that I can take and flip open as an emergency signal. I can leave that sitting pack to help a track. Now, notice how I put the zipper in here, so that when the pack is sitting and I flip it open, now I've got my area to go down here and store my cordage or whatever it is quick and handy. I put a brass zipper into it. Very simple mod, as you can see, and it seals up. Made the flap work a little bit better, in my opinion. So, my number one choice. If you came to me right now and said, Blackie, what surplus pack should I be looking for? For average 3, 4, or possibly 5 day. Now let us discuss. This is a rucksack, okay? Let us be clear on what the job of this is. My haversack carries my fire kit, my bushcraft, woodscraft kit is in the haversack, okay? And usually my haversack also has some shelter capability. In my case, I carry a small tarp and I carry a small hammock inside my haversack as a standalone. If I get out here lost and I can't get back to camp, I have the ability to get off the ground, and I got the ability to weather and rain, okay? So my haversack covers that. So the rucksack is my food, my cooking gear, and my camping gear. So what this bag should be actually carrying is my bedding, my bigger tarp, okay? I say my hammock, my tarp, my bed of whatever I'm carrying. Be it a really light little sleeping bag, or like that sleeping bag cover we've already showed, or just a woobie, okay? Next, I need my food for how many days I'm going to be out here, and whatever cooking equipment I need to produce the meals from that. So if I need a bush pot, if I need a skillet, I need whatever, that will be incorporated with that. And then my food and drink. That's it. That's all that should be in that bag. Because me, independent with just my haversack, should cover my needs. Okay? This is my comfort. So how long can I go with this? 3, 4, 5 days. I can do a week if I plan it right. Okay? I'm going to scrimp on a lot of the bulk, move it up, and I'm going to put more food in here. Because am I augmenting? Am I doing fishing? In which case I'm going to have a couple of meals of fish, hopefully. If not, bring a thing of peanut butter and crackers, you know. It's how you adjust in your mindset. Now, is this sufficient for every environment? No. Neither is the Alice pack. Because it's what your environment and what your needs are. So for me, the overnight, just strictly an overnight, I can get away with a haversack and some little bedroll, like my Ranger roll. I can get away with it. I got a tarp and I got a little hammock, and I'm just adding a little bit of comfort. If I'm in the right weather conditions, I don't even need a bedroll. You know, I'm just going to be sleeping out. I'll carry some bug dope. Yes, I'm going to have skeeters and stuff. But you get my point. So this becomes a general camping bag. My general camping set, and what I need for my 2, 3, 4 day overnights is going to be in here. That's that supplies. When I go to the big bag, which is think of the large Alice or a true backpack, that's in the dead of winter. Now I need that big bulky sleeping bag. I need that big bulky sweater, that M65 field jacket. I need long handles, extra socks, you see. My weight necessarily is going to go up some, but the bulk goes up a lot. And so instead of trying to take and force feed all that into this size bag, I have a bag for the winter. That's the reason you hardly ever see that with me, because the dead of winter, overnight, I usually don't need it. We're not backpacking, you know. But this bag will handle 95% of all my camping chores. My comfort, my bedding, my shelter, my food, my cooking supplies. That goes there. Everything else should be on me. My knife should be on me. My saw or axe should be on my haversack, or maybe slung on this for easy access. You know, what am I doing? Am I building, or what are my planned goals for this event? In which case, this bag does fine. The medium Alice can do fine as well. And a lot of guys love it and swear by it, and it fits them. My big, huge friend Dan Lutz absolutely loved the medium-sized Alice. Loved it, loved it. But he was 6'8" and close to 400 pounds. A medium Alice on his body is this bag on me. See? You put that medium Alice on me and it's got too much depth going away from my back. I keep loading and it starts getting further and further, and after a while you feel like you're like this, or you got to walk hunched over to carry it. This one does not, because the depth of the bag, it's about the same capacity, but the depth of the bag coming out is about like that. So it only comes out like that. It tapers, so it's narrow at the bottom, bigger at the top. That means I move better when I'm doing like this, trying to go through, because I'm in a lot of brush. I've got to twist and turn with it. And a bag that's too big at the bottom is always going to be hanging up on everything. So I want it small on my kidneys. Okay, taper up here. My shoulders are wider than my kidneys. And if I'm going by, I've already got a knife on my hip. I don't want any more to be dragging. So the German Alpine bag is my #1 choice. If you're looking for a surplus bag to get started, they're reasonable. They give good service, and I've been very, very happy with mine. Like I said, I have several, and they serve multiple purposes. In fact, I went and put patches on them so I could tell them apart. Oh, now I know the orange one is different. The way I would set up, one bag is a scouting bag. Okay, a scouting overnight, my haversack, and that bag. What should be in there is my basic shelter set and enough food for 72 hours. Okay, and whatever cooking kit for that. A little bit of water, that's cool. I towed a Grail. Okay, all right. On another bag that had a different patch on it, that's my crafting bag. We're going to go do spoon carving, we're going to do whatever. And I've got a saw, I've got tools in there. It's a tool bag. It also has a little bit of overnight stuff, so if I get caught out. And then I have one bag that is dead empty, and that's okay, we're going to be doing this, and I grab it and I load it, sling it on my shoulder. It becomes the do-all, okay? Could I do it with one? Yeah, but I'd be unloading it a lot. But it's a comfort to me to know that when I grab this bag, what it's going to do and how it's going to perform for me. It's going to carry good. If it's sopping wet, it doesn't dig into me, because I've had it out here in sopping wet conditions. How does it protect the inside? The thick material does great. I've had no tears or anything, and all the thick briars, long cat claw briars, the little scrubby oaks, nothing. So it's done great with that. The vinyl bottom has protected the bottom very well, and you can see I had one puncture right there where I dropped it onto a board with a nail in it, and I put some clear duct tape over that, sealed it up just fine. This will not hold water, but it will repel water. So when I set it down on wet ground, it doesn't automatically wick in moisture. See, it gives me the most for the buck. The bottom down here, where the straps attach to the body, there's a pass-through right there where I can put a cord, and you come around here to the back to where this is. So I have hooked from there and made a crisscross before and carried a bedroll on the bottom of it. You can do that. It's really set up with these D-rings to carry a bedroll up on top of it. And it's how it fits you best and how you should carry it. If you've got one of those self-inflating sleep mats, stand it up so it's about the right height, set it in the pack sideways, and let it unspiral so you got a hollow tube. Now pack all your gear in it. It protects you, it don't fall out, and when you get to camp and you're setting everything up, you can just go and slide it right up and out of the bag where I ain't got to dig it out. I like easy and simple. So, to the several people that have asked me in the Ground Pounder series about when you're going to do a rucksack, this is my recommendation. Yes, I know so many of you are big fans of Alice packs. I will do a video on the Alice pack, and I'll talk about the tips and tricks I learned over my many years of carrying one. But I wanted to be honest with you that if it was a brand new Alice or a used great condition German Alpine sitting side and side, I'm grabbing this one. That's just my choice. Your opinion may vary, and that's absolutely right, because it's you, your body, and how you carry it. Dan Lutz absolutely loves the medium Alice, and he thought this was, you know, he said, it's a little fire kit. Well, it's way too small on him. See? So what it is, it's got to fit you. We will be doing the Alice in the near future, and we will probably do the large Alice at some point, and I'll talk about how to load it for deep winter. Probably do that next winter when it's time to do a winter camp out. I'll show you how I load a winter set up and just share my experience. Thank you very much for watching this video, guys, and thank you very much for supporting all of the Ground Pounder series and my channel in general. Really, I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you have any questions or comments or packs you like or something I may have not heard of, put it down there in the comments. Love to hear from you. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.